Duke just offered multiple players as head coach Jon Scheyer continues to build out the future of the program, and we got to break it all down. We also have an update on Kendrick Knueppel. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Duke Basketball 365. If you are a Duke Blue Devils fan, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out a ton, and only 35.4% of viewers are subscribed to the channel. Let's jump right into what we got for today. Duke rattle off 5-star offers today. And let's start off with AJ Williams, currently ranked the number 1 player in the class of 2028. We were hearing, I guess now it was a couple of months ago, Duke and other programs were hoping that he was going to be reclassifying to the class of 2027. Haven't heard any updates on that since. So we are led to believe that that is still the hope for AJ Williams. But he is right now ranked the number 1 player in the class of 2027. 24/7 Sports and the 24/7 Sports composite rating, meaning the average of ESPN, Yahoo Recruiting, Rivals on 3, and 24/7 Sports has him rated as the number 1 player in the country, number 1 small forward, and number 1 player in the state of Georgia in the class of 2028. He is a 6'8", 210-pound small forward from McDonough, Georgia. That does matter because Georgia is one of the schools in on this recruitment. They aren't exactly a threat to the Duke Blue Devils in terms of recruiting, but the in-state advantage is always an advantage that I'm not just going to sit here and ignore. So that is something that is worth thinking about. And in terms of other schools that Duke is battling for AJ Williams, the list is really, really deep in terms of quantity and in terms of quality. But today, Duke became one of many to officially extend an offer to him. We can see here some of the most recent schools to send an offer: Kansas, Florida State, Alabama. I think that's some sort of low major school. I'm not sure what that lighter blue color school is, but someone else offered him as well. So a ton of top schools, and the list does not stop here in terms of, this is just the most recent offers. There have been so many other schools, a lot of SEC schools, a lot of quality schools. Like I said earlier, Duke is not afraid of anyone in terms of recruitment. If you're going after a top recruit and Duke is going after them as well, it's always understood that Duke is the program that other programs fear in terms of recruiting. But this is going to be a really tough one, even for a program as established as the Blue Devils are. But this is going to be an exciting story to follow, because when you're the number 1 recruit in the country for your class, it's always exciting. Let's jump into the next guy here. Another 5-star recruit in the class of 2027. Another player that we've talked about on this channel, Aiden Diggs, 6'5", 180 pounds, rated a 5-star recruit, a 98 overall, according to 24/7 Sports. They have him ranked the 4th best recruit in the class, number 1 combo guard, and number 1 player in the state of Arizona. In terms of the composite grade, meaning the consensus around Aiden Diggs, is that he is the number 2 player in the country, number 1 combo guard in the class, and number 1 player in the state of Arizona. If Williams does end up going down from 2028 to 2027, then you would imagine Aiden Diggs will drop down to the 3rd recruit in the country. But still, top 5 recruits, we want them signing with Duke. We know Jon Scheyer loves to go after those taller guards. 6'5", that is the height that we are certainly looking for. So another top prospect here, and a name that Duke has already been to some of his games earlier this summer. I have no doubt that Scheyer and the rest of the coaching staff will continue to attend some of his games, as well as the next name on this list as the summer continues, and maybe even as we get into the college the fall here is the word I'm looking for there. Next name here, now heading on to the 2028 class, a name that, again, being pressured to reclassify to 2027, but right now the feelings around Colton Hiller is that he will be remaining in the class of 2028, and therefore Duke is going to have to wait a little while to recruit him. 6'6", 210-pound small forward, ranked the 3rd best player in the class of 2028. 24/7 Sports has him as a 5-star. The consensus between all of the recruiting services also has him as a 5-star from Coatesville, Pennsylvania. Another monster of a prospect. Duke is starting their future recruiting at the top. I mean, the guys that we've been going after, which has essentially been this list add Kendrick Knueppel, who is, not a 5-star, but he's rising. And then you put in Anthony Black from the Orlando Magic, his younger brother, who I'm blanking on his name right now. Actually, his name is Beckham Black. Throw in him as well. That's another 5-star. Duke is starting their recruitment at the top, which is where you should be starting if you are the Duke Blue Devils, because if we, take our shot at number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, all the way 1 through 10, you would imagine Duke is going to get 2, around, probably on average, over like a 5 or 5-year span or a larger span, Duke would probably land 2 recruits on average. Every once in a while, you end up with only 1. Every once in a while, you end up with that Zion class where you get RJ, Zion, and Cam Reddish. Man, those were, even though that team underperformed in March Madness, those were the days, my absolute favorite Duke Blue Devil team to watch. That team was unbelievable. But now getting into the final name that we are going to talk about in this video is actually, that's a lie. One more stat that I want to talk about Colton Hiller. His list of offers, Duke again being the most recent. Kansas also on both lists between Williams and Colton Hiller. Colton Hiller's list of offers, not as intimidating as Williams was, but you would imagine as we get closer to the class of 2028, or when we get closer to 2028, it's going to get more competitive. He's a top 3 recruit. It's going to be a very tough commitment, but this has been a name that the Duke Blue Devils have been rumored to be targeting for a little while here. Not the most substantial rumor, because Duke going after a top 3 recruit, I don't think there will ever be a year where Duke is not going after a recruit if you are ranked in the top 3. So that doesn't tell us a whole lot there, but it is something that is going on. Final thing that's going on here, Kendrick Knueppel. We get an update on him. You're going to recognize the last name. You're going to recognize the hometown because he is the younger brother of course, Colton Knueppel. A couple days ago, coming from Yahoo Sports, we get the update. Duke reportedly steps up recruitment of Colton Knueppel's younger brother. So there was some sort of spike in his recruitment. Yahoo Sports is saying Duke up their recruitment in him. I don't know what actually happened, but something apparently happened where Colton Knueppel is now getting more hype. He is flying up the boards in terms of ratings on all these recruiting websites, which is awesome to see. There is still the update that we broke down a little while ago where he came out and he said for his recruitment, it's not just 100% Duke. He's going to have an open recruitment, which is what he should be doing. In the era of NIL, you never know, the commitment between programs and players back to programs is at an all-time low. You would imagine Duke being the brotherhood and Knueppel literally being the brother of another Knueppel is going to make it so Duke is never going to stop their interest. But I understand that Knueppel is going to keep all of his options open, which is the right thing for him to do. It's the right thing for any recruit to do in the modern college basketball or really college sports era. But Kendrick Knueppel, I knew I was going to make that mistake at least once during this video. Kendrick Knueppel from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, going to Wisconsin Lutheran, 6'10", 225 pounds, 4-star recruit, rated in 94 overall by 24/7 Sports. 24/7 Sports has him ranked as the 28th best recruit in the 2027 class, the 5th power forward in the class, number 1 player in the state of Wisconsin. Crystal ball prediction from 24/7 Sports has him going to the Duke Blue Devils. Usually, when you see a crystal ball prediction on 24/7 Sports, whatever school is being predicted, so in this case it's Duke, it would usually be 24/7 Sports' Duke Insider that puts down that prediction. But what is interesting here is the name that put it down here actually was not the Duke Insider. It was actually the University of Wisconsin affiliated 24/7 Sports Insider who put down that prediction. I want to read his name off here. John McNamara. I just want to give him the credit here. On May 21st of this year, put down that prediction of Kendrick Knueppel to Duke. So interesting from the Wisconsin Insider, not the Duke Insider, although, of course, the Knueppel is very well known around the state of Wisconsin in the basketball community. If you want to go, I was going to say, if you want to go find film on him, don't study Wisconsin Lutheran, just study the Flying Knueppels. That's the real basketball team that he's on. That's what I got for this video. If you stuck around this long, I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video all the way through. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and go Duke.